Dynamic, articulate, perceptive, courageous, outspoken.
Welcome back to the dojo. We got another reaction. And this time it is a video called Awareness Ruined My Life. It looks like a rant video. This is from Life Outrage YouTube channel. It's got 14K views. He posted this 4 days ago. I want to know what he's talking about when he's talking about awareness ruined his life. I have an idea. You know, the more you know, or the more you learn about life and things in life, it makes you hyper aware of people, situations, obstacles, all these different things. You constantly think about them because you understand so much. And when you're in a blissful state, when you're ignorant, they say ignorance is bliss, right? Because you're not worried about all these problems because you don't even know they exist. So the more you learn, the more you're aware of what's going on and what the issues are, and the less you can do to change them, simply because they may be out of your control. It may not be just because you know better you can do better. You may know better, but you don't have the tools or the wherewithal to overcome your issues or your problems. So I don't really know what he's going to talk about, but I clicked on the video because I want to know. So let's go ahead and listen in.
You know, there are some days when I feel like, you know, I've come to terms with this awareness and I'm able to just accept it and move forward, kind of thing. And then, you know, it's not always perfect. Sometimes I just break down and something disrupts it, you know, and I just can't keep functioning, keep moving forward because for whatever reason, I just start seeing the absurdity of it all, and not in a way where I'm like proud of it. No, I've never been proud of this awareness.
Well, like I said, sometimes you may be powerless to affect the situation. You don't have the tools or the wherewithal to change your situation. He said the absurdity of it all means, like, what's the point of even trying? Things are this bad. What's the point of even trying? And I had an idea that may have been what he was going to touch on, because awareness is just perception. How much are you alert to the situation or things at hand? How much can you perceive? How much do you know? You know what I mean? And when you know a whole lot, it becomes a burden. Yes, it becomes a burden the more that you know, because you are then responsible for that knowledge, and you're expected to apply whatever knowledge you have to fix your situation. But when it's a situation that's out of control, what can you do but throw your hands up and say, to hell with this? Like, I don't even know what to do. So that may be what this guy's going through. I need to listen a little bit more and stop talking so much.
Gonna be honest, but you know, I'm just saying this because there are days when it just weighs on me. It weighs me down, and I don't know how to function sometimes. Like, it becomes a problem whenever I go out, you know, and I go out on the streets or in the city, whatever. And, you know, there's days when I can just laugh at it all and just see how absurd all of this is. And then other days, like, you know, this past week where I just can't fucking take it. I just see how, you know, crazy and insane everything is. And I just, you know, it's this, I just can't fucking take it anymore. Like, this is the kind of shit that happens in this awareness. Sometimes you're just gonna be like okay with it and just move forward with your life, and then other days it just takes over you, and it's this really heavy feeling that I have, you know, when
I think what he's talking about is anxiety. When you feel anxious about a situation, a particular, you know what I mean, turn of events, or, you know what I mean, your life just spiraling out of control. I think that's what he's talking. He's talking about the anxiety of it all. Like, he constantly has this heavy feeling over him, and he doesn't know what to do. Bro, this is a part of life, bro. Everybody gets anxious and apprehensive and not sure what they should do moving forward. It's just a part of life. You know what I mean? And if you're growing, changing, developing, and evolving, you're gonna have some anxiety and some rough times. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen because life is not easy, bro. Life is filled with problems, trials, tribulations, obstacles, experiences. Like, there's so many things you're gonna go through in life, even if you try to keep to yourself, because life has its own problems. You don't have to even make problems for yourself. Life has its own problems. And when those problems are ready to present themselves and find you, they will. They will. There's nothing you can do. The life story that you have is already mapped out. And the way that you're built, the way that you think, can sometimes cause problems. And that's just being a human. It has nothing to do with the decisions that you make. It's just you in general. Sometimes we make our own problems. The anxiety that we feel sometimes is because of something we couldn't complete or something we didn't do. You know what I mean? But I really, this video is like 17 minutes long, and I really haven't even listened to any of it, but I'm getting something from it because he's explaining his experiences, and I'm relating to my experiences to see where we connect.
Whenever I see cars everywhere, streets are packed all the time. You know, and the traffic is literally the number one place where you're gonna get to see the insanity of it all. You know, the traffic, and just seeing, feeling like everybody's an NPC rushing somewhere. Some people going to the hospital, some people having to go to school, some people going to work. You know, it could even be in the middle of the day, at 12 p.m. and in the middle of a weekday, like Tuesday, Wednesday, and the streets will still be packed. Why? How in the world is this possible? How?
I agree with him. It's like everybody's got a job, but somehow the streets are always packed at all hours of the day. You know what I mean? Like, what are people doing? Like, the roads are always filled. Always. So when you think about stuff like that, it's like, yeah, how are there so many people on the road right now? Y'all not at home chilling watching TV? Y'all just gotta be out spending money, going somewhere? But then you think about it, right? People don't work, everybody doesn't work a 9 to 5 shift. Some people work 11 to 7. Some people work 10 to 6. Some people work later on in the day. You know what I mean? They work the night shift. So there's always going to be somebody going to and from work at any given hour of the day. But it's not that many people that's on the streets at any given time. Like, but it seems like it. It seems like there's always somebody going somewhere, somebody doing something. So I can definitely agree with that. Let's see what else he has to share with us.
Oh, we're all going somewhere all at the same time. In the middle of the week, in the middle of the day, there is never a moment when, there is calm or something relaxing. No, it's always go, 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 go. It's always productivity all the time. And, businesses need to run, people need to make money, people going to work. It's all this machine. I see it all, and the traffic is literally the one place where you can feel it. You feel it in the traffic.
I see what he's talking. He's talking about the matrix. He's talking about the system that we prescribe to in our everyday lives. You go to work, you go to church, you pay your taxes. It's the wool that's been pulled over, the world that's been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth. That's what Morpheus told us in the Matrix. It's the world that's been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth. And the truth is, we are not free. We are all working towards an expected end. We're all trying to get to somewhere in our lives and in our experiences to where we can just kick back and enjoy life for what it is. Everybody's trying to get to that point in that place, but almost nobody is ever going to get there. That's what he's talking about. The absurdity of it all. It's absurd that we all have to do these things and we all have to constantly grind and work instead of actually enjoying life. I'm definitely starting to see what this guy's saying. And I completely agree. But this is the matrix. The world that has lied to you about what the world is. The work life, the school life, the money life. You never get to live life. You're always doing something with your life force, and you never get to actually enjoy your life. I feel it. I definitely do.
Deeply. And you feel like, oh, everybody has something to do, everybody's going here, everybody's making money this, making money like that. It's like, it's this constant thing where people are just on all the time. And why is it always like this? Why does society view this, productivity, being on all the time as normal? Why can't we just have peace for once? Why can't we just, relax for a bit? Wouldn't the world be a much more better place if we were able to relax, be calm, and just be kind and stuff, all that? Oh no, people rushing, people like, you have these people raging on the road. Hey, you skipped me. People speeding on the road. And it's like, I see all of this and it's all absurd, Oh, you skipped me, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, why are we so petty? Is humanity like this? It's ridiculous,
I can agree. Like, there's a lot of petty people out there. There's a lot of people who are angry and upset at their life and their situation, and they'll take it out on whoever they can. Whoever's in close proximity, they're gonna get it. They're gonna get it. Whether it's a good idea, a bad idea, they're gonna get beat up for it or whatever. People are just angry all the time because life drives you mad. Life literally can drive you mad because you never get time to rest. I feel what he's saying. There's never any peace. New York is even called the city that never sleeps because they're always on go. You think it's bad where you're at? Try New York. They're always on go. You're gonna hear cars and beeping and talking all different hours of the night. Especially if you live in the city. Doesn't matter where. You're gonna always hear that shit all hours of the night. It's gonna be harder to get rest. It's gonna take some adjustment to getting used to New York. You know what I mean? But I lived there for multiple years, and it's not a place for somebody who likes peace and quiet. I can put it to you that much. It's not a place for somebody who wants a peaceful existence. New York is always crazy, chaotic, and hectic. And that's what he's feeling. He's probably not even in New York, and he's feeling that already. You know what I'm saying? So I'm listening to this man. I'm taking in what he's saying, and I agree completely and wholeheartedly, man. Why can't we just be peaceful? Why can't we just live calmer lives? Everybody's always on go. Everybody's got to be 100% revved up engines. And he said, you really see it on the road. Yeah, you do. Road rage is a serious thing. Like, I'm not even an angry person, and I've experienced road rage before. Somebody cut me off or somebody did something reckless. Like, you want to say something to these people, but it don't really matter because you probably never ever going to see them again. You know what I mean? Unless y'all got into an accident and somebody needs to file claims and shit like that. But, you know what I mean? I get it, bro. I definitely get it.
There are people everywhere. Like, I mean, there's always something going on. People going to the hospital, and hospitals will still be packed in the middle of a fucking day because there's, it gives a reason for the nurses to make money. Because when you think about it, it's kind of true, but nurses, doctors, they depend on people's health to deteriorate so that they can make money.
That's the system, bro. That's the system. Just like police officers, they depend on people committing crimes so they can make money. You know what I mean? The fire department, they depend on fires happening so they can make money. Even though they're state funded, more than likely, they don't get to do anything unless there's a fire. If there's no fire, there's no work. There's nothing to do. And then sometimes if it's a big enough fire, they get to go through the house and steal shit. That's why they got them big ass pockets. Don't tell nobody I told you that. But that's what it's about, bro. Problems, chaos, things going wrong. That's what the system is based on. The system is made to correct itself with the people who work with it and for it. It doesn't matter where you go. There's an industry for everything. There's an industry for every single thing you can think of. There's a business model, there's an idea, a mission statement, a code of conduct, all that with every sector of life. Every single thing you can think of. Food, hospitals, medical, like anything you can think of, construction, plumbing, like there's an industry for everything you can think of, bro. We were born into this age and nothing feels right. And I understand what he's saying, bro.
I don't want to sound like somebody who says like, oh, nurses and doctors are useless. That's not what I'm saying. But when you really think about it, that's kind of the truth. They depend on people not feeling well so that they can make money. That's how they make a living. That's how it works. It's kind of a weird thing to say out loud, but it's the truth. Or just people, or just somebody stopping by at the coffee shop. Oh, let me get some donuts and some coffee for all my employees and my boss and all that. And there's always something going on. You know, there's somebody's making money, somebody's working, somebody's heading to the hospital, somebody's going to the grocery store, to the supermarket. It's always on, and it's like, why can't we just have peace for fucking once? God damn it. You can go to the mall and people are still consuming all the time, you know. Oh, I just finished off my shift at 4 p.m. Now time to go do some shopping. Like, oh my God, it's like, like, it doesn't, like, something has to keep running all the time.
Yeah, he says like a little bit too much. I'm trying to bear with him, but he's like, it's like. I understand, like, he's having trouble getting it all out because he's thinking and feeling at the same time. He's not just talking to us. He's going through the motions as he speaks to us. And he's like, bro, like, I'm tired of this nonsense. Like, knowing all this stuff that I know, I wish I didn't know. Because he's basically putting it together like, nurses, they make a living off of you not feeling good. So that's how they make money. There's always somebody not feeling good. There's always somebody that's sick or somebody that's hurt. So they're going to always have a stream of income because accidents happen all the time. But I see what he's saying. It's like the system is always running. It never stops. It never rests. It never sleeps. So, yeah, I get it.
It's just, you know, it just makes, time for me to go shopping so I can cope through this reality, so that I can feel better after this long work day where I got my soul sucked away for a few hours and, you know, my boss probably yelled at me or something. I don't fucking know. I'm at a point where I can't just view these things as normal anymore. And I say this a lot actually on this channel, but, you know, this awareness, it's a curse and a blessing. You know, sometimes I can feel like, you know, I can actually wake up and see the world for what it truly is, so that I can kind of avoid the fakeness, avoid the pretending and stuff like that, so I can actually be my true authentic self, be myself. And that's the positive side of that. But then the curse is when, you know, whenever I go out in the city and in the streets, I see people, I see cars, I see people going in motion, people running on autopilot all the time, never stopping. It's like there's never a break. And people are always doing something, and because you start to realize that everything is about making money. Everything is about keeping the machines running, keeping the economy flowing, because that's how the world runs. And there is something awfully wrong about that. I just don't think that this is living. This is not living. This is just...
Yep, I know what you mean. It's not living. We're just existing. We're just existing. We don't get much out of our lives. All we're doing is just giving our time, giving our energy, giving our labor, giving our thoughts and ideas to the world, and we feel like we don't really ever get anything back. I know the feeling, bro. I know the feeling all too well. I've been living this life more than 30 years, man, and I know the feeling all too well. He's just probably just getting familiar with it all, seeing the matrix for what it is, breaking down the borders and barriers of the illusion that has been pulled over our eyes. But, you know what I mean? I'm going to take a quick little break. You're probably not even going to notice I'm gone. But we only got 5 minutes through this video. and we still got a little bit more to listen to. But he keeps saying the same thing roughly. But we still gonna give him a chance and listen to him in at length. Okay, what I'm guessing is he's just gonna tell us his experience about how awareness ruined his life instead of just saying, this is why awareness ruined my life. So we gotta piece it together. He's not just gonna outright say it. He's just gonna give examples and tell through his experience how awareness ruined his life, and we gotta piece it together and understand what he's saying. So let's continue.
This is just robotic behavior, but that's normalized. Sometimes I'm eating food and this awareness takes over in a bad way, and I can't even look at my food and just be like, oh, I'm hungry. Sometimes I look at the food and I'm like, oh, somebody had to work, somebody had to suffer so that I can have this food right now. And it's just like, or you buy something at the fast food and then you have it, and I keep thinking, oh, somebody worked to prepare this for me. And I just feel ashamed. I just feel ashamed to be human consuming these things while somebody else worked to give me these things. And this applies to so many other things, like my hobbies, my passions. I can enjoy doing something, one of my hobbies, and then start to realize, oh, somebody worked to bring this hobby to me.
I feel exactly what he's saying, but you also gotta remember the work that you put in so someone else could enjoy something. You gotta remember that we make contributions to society, each and every one of us, whether we realize it or not. Like the house that you live in, somebody had to build that house. The car you drive, someone put that together. You know what I mean? All these amenities and luxuries that we get to enjoy is because of somebody else working. And it's the same for you. You made contributions to society. You worked on a job. Like you maybe have worked at a grocery store. Those shelves getting stocked matters because somebody might come past a shelf and they don't see what they were looking for, but it's just in the back. If you bring it up to the front, you worked so that someone could be able to, so it could be readily available for anybody who wanted it. Not to mention all the people that went behind that work to produce the product, but still, we all work so that we all can enjoy and achieve things. That's how this system works. We all are dependent upon one another. Whether we realize it or not, we all are dependent upon one another and the system as a whole. I see what he's saying, and he don't like that we're dependent upon the system, like we're not self-sufficient. If we were enjoying all the things without the system, it would be on your own back and your own labor. But we're so far removed from doing our own work for our own enjoyment. We don't even know what that looks like. We just have a specified task we do at work, and that's supposed to pay the bills so we can afford everything else. But the way it's going, work doesn't look like it's going to be able to afford us anything in the near future because the cost of everything. We're being priced out of life, for lack of a better term. We're all being priced out of life. And I don't know if you see it, I don't know if you can sense it, but that's what's happening.
And I feel ashamed. I'm like how am I supposed to enjoy something when this is what I think about? And again, I don't think about this all the time. Sometimes I can just check out and be like, okay, I just go with the flow. And then other days, like right now, like this past week, this is all I've been thinking about. I keep thinking about how, millions of years ago, people were living in communities, being close to one another, having shared values, peace. I mean, I'm not saying it was perfect. I'm not saying it was all peaceful. I'm not saying that they didn't struggle, but there was something definitely more authentic and real about the way people were living millions of years ago. And now with this awareness, I just see the way how we live, the way everything works. It's not natural. It's not something, there is something awfully wrong. There's something robotic. There's something, it doesn't feel real. It feels like a game. And I never asked to again, I say this all the fucking time. I never asked to be here, and I'm supposed to just accept so many things that we have to do. All these rules, all these regulations, these things that I have to follow just in order to live, just in order to exist.
Yes, brother. Yes. That is the truth. Whether you're of the nihilistic persuasion or not, the reality is that we are all dependent upon one another. There's nothing we can really do on our own without the system backing us. You know, even in the Matrix, it says that people are so inert, so hopelessly dependent on the system that they will fight to protect it. And those are our enemies, the people who would fight to protect the system. But when you really look at it, this day and age, we need the system because we don't know how to hunt, we don't know how to fish, we don't know how to build our own shelters, we don't know how to make fires, like all these different things that we don't know how to do in the natural world. The natural world, not the digital world, not society, but the natural world. We don't know how to survive and thrive in the natural world, so we're dependent on the system. We're stuck in this matrix because we don't know how to get out. And even if we do know how to get out, do we really want to do the work to live off the grid? Do you really want to do all that back-breaking work just to say that you don't depend on the system? It's a whole lot of work. It's a life's worth of work. And we're already complaining about the little 9-to-5 jobs that we have. So, are we really ready for life like that? I don't think so. Society has to gradually collapse for us to be ready for something like that. People have to be preparing for stuff like that right now. You know what I mean? But I understand where he's coming from with awareness ruining his life because he's more aware of everything that's going on. And it's hard to really enjoy life when you're so hyper fixated and hyper focused on how fucked up the world is. I understand that. But we can't get so wrapped up in the awareness of life that we forget to live our own lives. Can't do that. Just if you know it, then just teach it to people who will listen. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's not going to listen. Everybody don't feel the same way you do. Everybody's not going to agree. But I definitely agree with this man because I'm aware of the system. You know, I want to finish listening to him.
And, oh my god. Like, it's come to a certain point where I can't even function well around the people around me. Some people will talk about surface level things, and okay, I'm not against talking about surface level things, but there are times when I'm just like, I don't care. Like, in my head, I'm saying I don't care because all I can think about is how, what they're probably talking about is run on money. It's a way to keep the machine running. I can't get this thought out of my head sometimes. It's like it really is a blessing and a curse. I don't know how to function sometimes. Sometimes I receive these letters in the mail about things from the government and something, and I open the letter and it's just all meaningless. And when I open the letter, it's just like a foreign language. I'm not speaking the same language as what's written on the fucking paper. And all these papers about like taxes, debts, this is due, oh, this is what the amount, the blah, blah, blah. And it's like, who decided this? It's like the government can just, tell you, they can just print out a letter, make up a fucking number, make up a fucking thing on words, and to convince you that this is what you have to do. In order to survive, in order to live, when I didn't even ask to be here. The way I see it now, these letters that I receive, they're basically threats disguised as communication. It's like, oh, you have to do this, you have to do that, and people will blindly just think like, oh, this is the thing that we have to do in order to keep society running, to be a good citizen of the country, yeah. Like, why? Like, we have been taught at a very young age to follow authority, to follow the rules, do whatever everybody tells you to do. And now I see these letters and I see them as, I'll show you the fucking letter. God damn it! It's these things. It's these things. These things are meaningless. Like I just can't, like, they're nothing to me. It's just, it's not real. It's just not fucking real. It's, if everybody in the entire world just says like, all this is not fucking normal, we can actually bring changes into this world and make something happen. And the unfortunate truth is that I believe that sometimes I just think that that's just never gonna happen.
I agree, because everybody has to be on the same page for that to happen. Everybody has to throw away everything that the system is about and want to reach for a new type of life. But there's a lot of people who are comfortable in the system. They're just getting the feel of it, and they're just starting to enjoy life through the system. You can't take that away from everybody who's had that experience already, because they're fine with it. They're fine with how things are. And you can't ask them to want to throw away their entire life to try to create a new one. Most people are tired, run down, exhausted. They become adapted to the system as is, and they're just like, man, to hell with it. I don't care. As long as I can feed myself, as long as I got my needs met, I'm not worried about nobody else. We're conditioned to feel like this. And the more you are aware, the more you realize that it's a losing battle trying to get people to change for the better or change for a new life. That's like, you are going to find a lot of sympathizers online, because there's a lot of people who can see through the veil, but there's plenty of people who are fine with life as is. And like I said before, you can't ask them to just throw away their life to accommodate you or what you want to see in the world, because that's the unknown. We don't even know if the system or what we can create will be better than what we have now. We don't know that, but it's definitely worth dreaming about. You know what I mean? Like, what's the alternative to breaking up the system and changing things? How do things get better for us? I can only see things getting worse, to be honest. Like, I don't know how we're going to make it better. We're not that smart. There's something or someone over us that is deciding all these things in our lives. And because we can't decide better for ourselves, we keep being trapped in the matrix, trapped in the system. We don't know anything better.
At least not in my lifetime. It's like people are too they're too ingrained into the system, into the way everything works. We have been taught, like I said earlier, we have been taught at a very young age to just follow the fucking rules all the time. And I just, I see through it all. I see how the way things work, and I just can't fucking unsee it. And it's gotten to the point where sometimes I just wish, like, what if I was just still asleep? What if I was just still, functioning just like everybody else, and just not losing my mind, going insane over these meaningless things that society has created. And I don't know how to function. I can't function just being. I can't function around the people around me. It's just, I don't fucking know. Like, I never voted for the system. I never agreed to these expectations, these rules, these things that we have to follow. I was just born into this world, and I just suddenly have to just, keep going with this shit. I even sometimes mourn the person who I used to be. The one that was who was passionate, who was just, who had a dream, who had a goal, and who was looking forward to, doing things in life because the possibilities were endless. And then when, things went to shit and things happen, terrible things, and you being let down by the system over and over and over again, and you just, I just can't help but see through the cracks. And I never asked to have this awareness. It's just a result of everything that's happened to me in my life. Like, it changed me in so many ways, and not just in my opinions about things, but around how I view joy, around how I view connection. There are days when I just want to turn this awareness off and just keep functioning like how I used to be, just like everybody else. Days where I wish I was just unaware, I was naive about the world, and, again, wish seeing the world of, endless possibilities and having hope for the future and all that stuff. But all that is just gone. And like I'm literally grieving the person who I used to be sometimes. And it's just sad that, that person is just gone forever. Like, there are moments where I've accepted the person that I've become, but there are also moments when I just resent it. I'm like, why am I like this? Why have I come to this point? And it also makes me sad that about all the things that I had to go through. I'm like, how the fuck did I reach this point? To view the world like this, to have a shift in worldview where it affects my everyday life and the people around me as well. Like, it's not a straightforward path where I know where I'm going, because I don't. I still feel lost. I still don't know where this awareness is going to take me. And I know that the only solution is, right, I think it's that to build a life around this awareness, to not sideline it, to not ignore it, to not bury it deep down, because by burying it deep down, I will lose that authenticity. I will lose my real self. I will lose my soul if I do that. But that still doesn't take away the fact that having this awareness can be painful, can weigh me down, can weigh us all down. One day I want to build something from this pain, from this awareness, and then one day I just want to get through the day and be naive and be blind, be asleep just like everybody else, and just to simply survive. I don't have a perfect solution right now. I don't have a proper advice that I can to give so that to move forward with this awareness. I'm just saying that, and I'm aware that in order to move forward with this awareness is to build a life around it, and that is my goal. That is what I want to work towards. I just know the fact that it's not going to be easy. It's going to be isolating. It's gonna be hard. It's not going to be easy at all. But there are days when I accept that, okay, I want to choose this path because I will remain authentic. I will remain real, honest, and true. And in other days, I just resent it, and I just, I don't, because it's just affecting me so much that I really don't know what to do with this sometimes. But yeah, I just wanted to be honest about how I'm actually feeling, and this is what it is. I don't know what else to say. There are some days.
Well, I feel everything that he was saying. Like, life kind of sucks because you're hyper aware and hyper fixated on the problems and the issues that come with life and the system that we're living in, the matrix, if you will. But ultimately, he's just going through it like many of us have already. Seeing life for the bullshit that it is, having problems to deal with, the messages from the government and mail and letters and all types of nonsense telling you got to do this or you got to pay that. Yeah, it becomes very taxing. But what I really want to look at is the comments. I want to see what people said in pertaining to everything he talked about. So let's see. Alright, so it says, a Parcher film. The more you begin to know, the more alone you want to be. Yep, I could feel that. Next comment. We're not insane, we're hyper sane. Okay. I want to see the replies. There's like 6 replies to this. Somebody said, word. It's even harder to be sane in an insane world once we see through those rose-colored aviator glasses. Okay. Somebody said this. Somebody said amen. Damn, have you seen Michael Black call the people behind it all at the top as hyper sane? Not really sure what he's getting at. Everyone else is insane and we carry the weight of awareness. It's hella empty and I don't want to be around anyone anymore. I understand that. When you just become so aware of what's going on in life, you don't even want to partake. You don't even want to partake. So now we got somebody says birth, BS, death. Birth is greater than BS, and the BS is greater than death. But okay, okay, I get it, but I'm not trying to look too deep into it. Awareness cooked me on a level I wasn't prepared for. This is by Loyal Existence. Awareness cooked me on a level I wasn't prepared for. It's really tough to not game over when you wake and you look around asking what's the point of all this BS. Tired of life, man. Tired of life. He says Gregory Labow 9099. I see dead people. They're everywhere. They don't even know they're dead. Yeah. So this is, I'm guessing I came across a nihilistic YouTube page. What's the point of life? Nothing matters. Everything's irrelevant. But there is some truth to what people like this are saying. And I don't cast them out. I don't rule them out. It's because they see life for what it is. They see life for what it is. And they're tired of having to subscribe to this system. They're tired of having to get up and go to work when it's all for naught, when you're not really ever going to really enjoy your life. I feel that. I understand that. But, you know, this is just us reacting to other people's lives on YouTube. So, Professor Hawk signing out. Hawk Sensei bids you adieu. I hope you enjoyed this reaction, guys. Toodaloo.